For this project, I'm using this round sign that I picked up from the 99-cent store and just picking off these roses that were on it. And yeah, they were stuck on there pretty good. I was kind of hoping I could repurpose them, but that did not happen. See how I cut out a piece of gray cardstock in the same size as the circle, and I'll go ahead and Mod Podge that on. Now the one nice thing is if your circle doesn't look perfect when you cut it out, when you go and sand the edges, it will be a great circle. So once I get that Mod Podge down, like I said, I will sand the edges. And then I just got this other piece of paper. It was in my scrapbook stash. It came with a pack. It's called Boho something, and if I can find it, I'll link it below. It has this really neat wood pattern. And if you've been around, you know that this kind of blue is my accent color in my house. And so this project is going to be so pretty. So I'm just going to rough up the edges. It just gives it a little extra texture. Then I just kind of take my fingernail and push up the edges. And I just got it. I like that rustic look that you get. I'm going to use some double stick tape. You could Mod Podge this back down, but when I'm adding paper to paper, I find just any kind of double stick will work. And then I just cut out a piece of brown paper, and I'm going to put this vinyl saying over the top. I meant to cut it out in a cream color, wasn't paying attention, I did it in white, but I think it works all right. And this is just an image that I found already done up in Cricut Design Space. I just noticed that there was some background noise there. Sorry about that. My little one was watching YouTube. She, isn't that what they do? Anyhow, so I'm just adding this down to this piece of paper. I just think it's such a cute thing. I said it was already designed, and I lied a little bit. So the home was designed, and then I wrote, "Is my happy place." I typed that in. Okay, so now I'm just going to kind of play around with different items here to make this sign look good. So I have these little doilies. They're from a Muse Studio. I bought them a very long time ago, but I do believe that company is still around. So again, if I can find them, I will link them. Okay, so I'm just again using my double stick tape to position these. And then once I get this positioned down, I'm going to go ahead and play with these flowers and put them in a pattern that I like. And then once I get them in that pattern, I'll go ahead and glue them down. And these flowers are from Sola Wood Flowers. They are gorgeous. And I will also link the shop down below. I picked this set. It was called Winter Wonderland, I do believe. And I picked it because it's grays, creams, dark gray, and that blue color, which is my entire living room theme. So I was really excited that this pack came with all the perfect colors. And you can see there, I'm just making kind of like an arc there, a side arc, and then I'll just take my glue gun and start gluing them down. And that's just about it. I will add a string at the top, not a string, a ribbon at the top, and to make this a hanging sign. And I just think it is so pretty. I just feel like the video doesn't quite do it justice. It's just these flowers are gorgeous. So again, I will link them down below. This is going to be a quick, simple project. I'm using this USA tag from Dollar Tree, as well as this vinyl thing that I found in the Target dollar spot. I've had it for a while now, and I'm like, I really need to use this. So on this Dollar Tree tag, I need to just kind of sand off the there's a little bit of ink on the back that, you know, says Dollar Tree or whatever. And so really the wood soaked up this so much, this antique wax, that it covered it anyway. So I didn't really need to do that. I wanted to give it a little more of a rustic, inky look, but like I said, it soaked it up so much, so it just comes out as like a really deep stain. But again, you can see this is going to be the quickest project. So I'm just getting this sign covered, and then I'm just going to add this vinyl to it. Now I will say I don't recommend this vinyl, these little vinyl things. I went ahead and used some contact paper to put it down. I also decided I didn't want to use the key, and it does not work like Cricut vinyl. It was a pain in the butt to peel up. It was a pain in the butt to put down to the sign, and I end up using Mod Podge over it because it just wasn't that sticky. And I don't know if it was because it didn't like the antique wax or what, but it was kind of a pain. And you'll see I can actually move the hearts around because it didn't quite fit on this tag. I mean, I was pushing it using this pre-made vinyl, but after I get it down, I was able to move things around because that's how non-sticky it was, I should say. So anyhow, that's what I did, is I used some Mod Podge to put over it so that it's nice and secure. And then just to tone down the white some, I took whatever was left there on my brush from the antique wax and I just brushed it over the vinyl. And can't quite tell on screen, but it looks good. This is just a little hack there if you want to hang tools that don't have like a hole for you to hang it. That's how I hang it. Anyhow, I just poked a hole into the top of the tag and added a piece of ribbon, and that's it. For this project, I'm going to start with this board from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut it down a bit with my miter saw. And after I do that, I'm going to cover it in ivory chalk paint from Waverly, and this is what you get. I picked up this board off Facebook. I actually got 2 of them, and it's like linen background that's kind of spongy, so like you could stick pins in it, and then this really pretty like cream border. So what I'm going to do is I am going to glue this piece down that I had just cut and painted, and then I'm just taking some little wood scraps there, and that's just going to keep it nice and steady when I glue it to the board. So I'm going to use a combo of Gorilla Wood, wow, that was hard to say, Gorilla Wood glue and some hot glue for instant hold, and glue this down to the bottom of, and I can't really say sign because this isn't really going to be a sign. It's going to be a decorative wall piece. So I'm going to show you all sorts of fun ways to style this when it's done. And so I know my workspace is quite small and you can't see the whole sign, but anyhow. So I got these 3 boxes also from Sola Wood Flowers. Aren't they gorgeous? I am in love with them. And I was like, what am I going to do with these? So they are going to go on that, again, I don't want to say sign, but you know what I mean, that frame that I just was doing a few seconds ago. So I'm just going to glue these all together, And then once these are dried, I will glue them then onto the board. So now that everything's dry, I will go ahead and glue this down. And that's it, right? It's not a big deal here. This thing is like pretty much complete. It's going to be all the different fun ways that I can decorate it. And so make sure stay tuned because I will decorate it in a couple different ways. Now, when you see me style it, it's just sitting on my table because you can make it a stand-up piece, but it is made to hang on the wall as well. And I just wanted to add another decorative touch here, and so I'm just going to add some of this ribbon from Dollar Tree. This is my favorite from them. It's like an antique lace. It is so pretty, so I try to grab a couple whenever I see them. And then when I stood this up, I was like, oh, you can kind of see the edge of the board that I glued the boxes to. And so I take some ribbon that I got from Stampin' Up. It's a faux suede. It's so pretty. I will also link that below. You get a lot on a roll. So even though it's like somewhere around $6, you're probably getting 6 times the amount that you would get on a Dollar Tree roll. So it is a good price. So go ahead and I just add that. And then I add another little piece of that lace over my wood scraps just to finish everything off. And I wanted to make some decorative push pins to go with this board. So I picked these little flowery ones up from Dollar Tree. As you can see, they're all bright colors. So I used some of the ivory chalk paint again, and I just painted on top of them. And then another thing I did is I had these cute little pom-pom balls I got on clearance at Joann's, and so I am going to go ahead and glue a couple of those ones down onto these push pins, and this will give us some super cute, push pins for the board. So like I said, I will be styling this all sorts of ways. So I'm going to take one of these push pins and I'm just going to push it through the petal of the Sola wood flower to add to my board. And this way I can take it on and off, as you see here, and then I can add items. So here's how I styled it. I used the tag that we saw in the last project. And if you like that little vase there, planter, I don't know what you want to call it, but that's the next project that's coming up. So that was kind of fun to make as well. So now that you've seen it styled like this, I'm going to show you how to style it a different way. So one of the different ways I did was kind of to make it like a kitchen, like memo board. This shows you what meals are going on, your notes, your tools. And then here's another way you can style it seasonally. And I just did some lemons here. So you can see how versatile it is and how many like different things you can do with it. For this project, I'm using some of this faux leather from Dollar Tree, and I'm using just this little candy can. By the way, these are stinking delicious. But anyhow, I just covered just a small part with the ivory chalk paint. It's just going to be the little bit that shows. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out the size of the jar, and then I'm going to wrap it around this little canister, I guess you would call it. And I can't believe that Dollar Tree has faux leather. Like, this is so exciting. I think they had brown, black, white, and then they had like a navy blue. That's what I saw. And then I'm going to take my crocodile tool here. It cuts through pretty much anything. So it cut right through this leather perfectly. And I just mark it every, I think, ½ inch. I'm going to make a hole. And then what I'm going to do is just take some jute twine and I'm going to lace it up. I will say that in my head, it did not look like a football. That was not the plan. But it does kind of look like a football vase. So I guess that would be a cute little decor piece for Super Bowl. I don't know. So that's pretty much the project. It's a really simple upcycle here. And I'm just going to add this to it. And like I said, I will go ahead and stitch it together. And then I'm going to add a little piece of jute twine around the top and add a little embellishment, the little wood cutout that's also from Dollar Tree. And I just made this so that I would have something extra to go into the last project you saw, and I really thought the height was really good. If you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. Leave me a little leaf emoji. And also, I would love to know which way you liked it styled the most. Did you like just the vintagey, neutral look? Did you like the lemon? Did you like it being like the kitchen command center type? There's just so many options. Or tell me how you would have styled it. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, I sure hope you will give it a thumbs up, and I also hope you'll stick around by hitting that subscribe button as well as the notification. All right, until next time, guys, happy crafting.